And how this works is for every purchase you make, your total cost is rounded to the nearest dollar. After gaining a certain amount of coins, those coins are then distributed to your liking. And I'm here in the Petite Science Center laboratory, Mr. Wong, as we take our encoded sample and put it in our nanoparticles for mixing. Although tensions have calmed down within the African American community after protests have died down, social injustice is still an issue for Black people. Without a change, at least some of them worry what will happen next. Keelin Berrian, GSU TV. And I'm here at the drive-in mobilization rally for presidential candidate Joe Biden and vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris. As you can see over here, there's a big turnout that came out to see and rally with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Many people came out to speak on the Biden administration behalf. Since the voting recount of the states Georgia and North Carolina, supporters of Donald Trump and Joe Biden have not been quiet. Some take their opinions to social media, while others do this. This past weekend, individuals came out in front of the Georgia Capitol building to express their feelings towards the presidential election.
And it's like bipartisan. It's just more so like my values, where my values lie. Like I was once, on that side, what I mean? I was actually like going for the same things, but once you stand on principles, you can't even go for it. Like I'm talking about when you get rid of your emotions and you really look at principles, you're like, man, I can't even go for that.
My understanding today, there's a bunch of Trump supporters that have been rallying outside of the Capitol, and today it looks like they're here in opposition to the vote which has been decided for Biden, and they're here in opposition of that. Last year they were out here in an attempt to stop the electoral process, to stop people from counting votes. Okay. But it looks like this is just a similar crowd.
Traffic that drove through the protest blew their horns to show support to either side. Some even stopped to express a few words. But members of the support for Joe Biden didn't come in front of the Capitol to protest the election, but instead complete community service.
We organized an event to feed the homeless. We had it advertised on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And they came out here and stood in front of us. We spent hundreds of dollars on barbecue and homemade macaroni and cheese. We just wanted them to have a nice meal. And this is what it turned into.
Some even believe that no matter which candidate is in office, America is still going to be in trouble.
I think this all is set up for Trump. We are running out of food. Trump trying to be out of office for 4 years till this mess is over with. So what's the difference? Biden or Trump in office? Hey, America is finna be in deep trouble. China's already going through it, no food in India. They taxing on the billionaires to get more money to feed the hungry. So go ahead and put up non-perishable food and canned food.
Towards 3 o'clock, most of the supporters of Donald Trump left to protest in front of the governor's mansion, but a lot still remain in front of the Capitol. Keelin Berrian, PRN. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected some small businesses and their progress here in Atlanta, especially Black-owned businesses. Restaurants are operating as normal, but with fewer faces. Since the start of the pandemic, businesses across the country had to close for a few days to limit face-to-face contact and keep the number of COVID-19 cases to a minimum. In Atlanta, Helen's Hot Chicken is a chicken restaurant that started in Tennessee, then made its way to Georgia. The restaurant that once received a lot of business before are now starting to slow down.
Before it happened, it was a steady pace. Every day we was busy, we were doing good numbers and everything, but when the pandemic happened, everything went downhill. A lot of folks was scared to come out.
At the beginning of the pandemic, restaurants had to limit their sales only to takeout or delivery. After a few weeks of trying this new approach, the managers noticed there was an even slower pace.
We did, but it seemed like we was losing a lot of customers. So we was like, as long as they have on masks, you know what I'm saying, at a social distance, at a certain distance, it was okay to dine in, you know what I'm saying, because we didn't want to lose no money. Okay. We didn't want to go down the drain.
Slim and Husky's is a pizzeria and another Black-owned business. When they tried to have their opening in Atlanta, the restaurant had to be put on delay.
We opened post-COVID. Okay, so we were supposed to open in March, actually, and that is exactly when COVID hit the biggest. So, and that's when we delayed opening, and we opened Juneteenth, actually. We ended up having an opening on Juneteenth.
The pizzeria wasn't affected much by the pandemic and still receives a constant flow of customers throughout the day. But like other restaurants, they still had to limit their hours for some of the staff.
Most businesses we have had to cut back. It really didn't affect us that much as we thought it would, but we've been doing pretty good with it. Hours have been cut, but they haven't been cut dramatically to where people can't, live their daily lives.
Okay, cool. The restaurants are limiting their hours of operation during these situations, but still plans to provide the same service as before. Keelin Berrian with GSU TV. If you have ever been in a situation similar to Milan Gary, then you understand the frustration that sometimes occurs from living in Georgia State University's housing.
I'm definitely feeling frustrated.
On March 6th, Gary and her roommate's dorm was flooded by the HVAC pipe burst in Patton Hall.
It was actually my roommate who had called me. She FaceTimed me and she was like, look, and there was just water coming in from the ceiling,
damaging all of her belongings in the process.
GSU wasn't liable for any of my things, and neither was Corvius.
The two of them sent emails to the university housing and Corvius company, some containing invoices of her damaged belongings, but little to no response were giving back. Gary took her situation to social media, posting a video of her dorm that received over 3,000 views. Students from Georgia State were upset, posting comments towards the university. In response, the university made the same comment back to everyone, saying they empathize with her frustration and the matter is now with Corvius Company Living. And after trying to reach out to Interim Director of University Housing, Shannon Corey, she was unavailable to speak to us. Milan's post drew a lot of attention from those who attend the university and even started to see more responses to her emails. But all the university could do for the two roommates was move them from Patton Hall over to the student lofts.
Hadn't really been comfortable because they were strangers, so we ended up actually sleeping on our friend in Patton's floor for the next week until we were sent home. It sucked.
While staying at Patton Hall, Gary mentions that she sometimes had problems with the pipes, referring to having no water for a few days after returning back from winter break.
So I was taking showers at the gym, which sucked.
And even asked for help from maintenance.
Yeah, we put in so many maintenance requests the entire time we lived in Patton.
Gary has other siblings that were interested in attending Georgia State University, but from Gary's experience, living conditions would not be made in university housing.
I have 3 siblings, and all of them were looking forward to going to Georgia State, and I don't think any of them will be living on campus either in any of the dorms.
Keelin Berrian, PRN. After your message that you delivered today for everyone at the rally, how do you feel that it can help encourage to change Georgia back blue?
Well, I think as you look at the energy in this crowd, there's something happening on the ground, as I said, here in Georgia. I believe the change is in the air. People understand how much is at stake. That these aren't just names on the ballot. Healthcare is on the ballot. Livable wage is on the ballot. The ability to feel safe in our communities and not to experience discrimination for whatever reason. All of those issues are on the ballot. And I think tomorrow is our chance to do something about it. So it's important for people to show up.
Okay. So how do you feel? How do you feel after today that it will encourage others to go out and vote?
Oh, I think today is a part of an ongoing movement. We really shouldn't be thinking these days in terms of election day. It's really an election season. And so we've had an extended period of early voting. We've had vote by mail. If people have already voted, they should spend tomorrow getting their friends and their families out to the polling booth.
Okay. All right. And thank you.
All right.
That's all my questions I have for you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. What's up, everyone? It's been a while since you all last seen me. I'm Keelin Berrian, and welcome to this episode of PRN's Newswire. Since outdoor temperatures are dropping due to the weather, COVID-19 cases are rising as well. Vaccinations are administered daily, but by Georgia State nursing students. In a senior practicum nursing course, a rotating group of 7 nursing students were recruited and organized to vaccinate more than 150 older adults with the COVID-19 vaccine at Athene Health in Clarkston, Georgia. In just 2 weeks, more than 700 people received the vaccine at the drive-through site. Teresa Bates is the nursing coordinator for the senior practicum class and had her students to register, pre-screen, vaccinate, and monitor older adults for reaction of the vaccine. Athene Health leaders appreciated the students' work. Georgia State developed a new drug called Preagio, and this effectively treats pancreatic cancer and triple-negative breast cancer. Preagio is created by a human protein and targets the cell surface receptor estrogen ADB3 or alpha V beta 3, which is expressed on cancer-associated fibroblasts. The drug works by inducing programmed cell death in cancer-associated fibroblasts that express the ADB3 estrogen. Fibroblasts promote the development of new blood vessels, and angiogenesis plays an important role in the spread of cancer because solid tumors need a blood supply to grow. In both cases of the pancreatic and breast cancer, Preagio allowed the drug to effectively reach the cancer. Once the investigation of new drug application is approved, researchers say that the next step is to begin clinical trials. More money is handed out by Georgia State University in their new Honors College Scholarship. This scholarship is used to help honor college students transition over from the perimeter campuses over to the downtown Atlanta campus. A $20,000 grant given by Georgia State University's Board of Trustees, along with a $20,000 match from the Honors College, was given to make this scholarship possible. The scholarship program will begin in May and will give 20 trustee scholars up to $1,000 to successfully help them transition over. Students are excited for this new scholarship as it helps some of the financial barriers that some of them may be facing. To be eligible for this scholarship, you must have completed at least 4 honor courses and be in good academic standing with the university.